Welcome back, friends. I'm so glad you decided to join me on your mat today. For today's class, I recommend all of the props that you like. Definitely grab yourself a set of blocks, as well as maybe a pillow. If you are uncomfortable sitting back on your heels like this in hero pose, grab a pillow to sit between your bum and your ankles, and also a strap or a belt or anything that you can use that'll work similarly to those. And we'll just jump right into it. Finding your way into child's pose, that's where we'll begin. You can take narrow legs or wide, whatever is comfortable for you. Either stacking your torso over your knees, over your thighs, or bringing your knees wide, ankles wide, and allowing your belly to come through between your legs. Arms can be stretched out forward on the mat in front of you, or palms up, resting at your sides behind you. Bring your forehead or cheek to rest on the mat. And take this time to really settle in. Starting to deepen your breathing. If your hands are back, let's bring them out in front of you, extended nice and long. We're going to slowly walk our fingertips to the right side of our mat, bringing a gentle stretch into the left side of your body. Continuing to take nice deep breaths here. If this isn't a deep enough stretch for you, you can always send your hips and torso just a little bit to the left, slightly deepening that side bend. On your next exhale, press into your fingertips and slowly walk them back towards the center of your mat, coming all the way through this time to the left side of your mat, bringing a gentle stretch into the right side of your body. Again, option to send your hips and torso slightly to your right to deepen that stretch. Pressing through your fingertips, walk your fingers back to the center of your mat. Rest your forehead down and take one more nice deep breath. And when you're ready, press your fingers back into the mat and walk them towards you, raising your torso up to find yourself in a seat sitting on your knees. So again here, if sitting on your knees is not comfortable for you, feel free to grab a pillow. You can grab also a block and sit it between your ankles so you can sit on the block instead of on your ankles. Find a way to comfortably, for you, come to any version of a hero pose on your knees. From here, we're going to take some sun salutation inspired movements. When you're ready, inhale your hands up over your head, rise up, standing up onto your knees, gaze up through your fingertips. And as you exhale, sweep your arms forward, hips back, child's pose. Take a breath here. And as you inhale, sweep your arms wide, rise back up. Arms up. Exhale, come back. Child's pose. Great job. Continuing this on your own breath. Inhale as you rise up, standing on top of your knees, gazing up through your extended fingertips. Exhale, sending your hips back. Forehead comes to the mat, child's pose. Continuing that on your own pace, we'll do a few more of these. Nice deep breaths. On your next exhale, you can find yourself back in your child's pose. Take a moment here. You can undo if you have a pillow or a block. And press your way up to your hands and knees for tabletop pose. From here, we're going to start to really engage our core, get involved in this practice. Inhale, send your weight to your left arm and right leg, sending your right arm and left leg out long. Exhale, bend your knee and your elbow and bring them towards each other. Maybe they meet under you, crunching them together. Inhale, send your arms and leg nice and long. Exhale, crunch them together. Great job. Inhale long. Exhale, crunch. Continue at your own pace to a few more. Wherever you are, take one more. Inhale nice and long. Exhale, crunch forward, engaging your abs. And release your hand and foot back to the mat. Now sending your weight into your right hand and left leg. Inhale, your left arm and right leg out nice and long. On your next exhale, crunch them together underneath you, engaging your abs. And inhale, nice and long. Exhale, crunch together. Continuing again on your own breath. Beautiful. Take two more. Reaching nice and long on your inhale. And crunching nice and strong in on your exhale. When you're ready, place your hand and leg back down onto the mat. Back to your tabletop. Curling your toes under your feet. Press your hips up and back. Find your first downward facing dog of the day. Go ahead and walk your feet out if you'd like. Pressing straight and long through your spine from the top of your head all the way to your sits bones. From here, we're actually going to take some downward dog rolls. That's what I like to call them. I'll walk it through slow first, and you'll get a feel for the steps in this little sequence. But beyond that, really make it your own. Find the fluidity in your motions here and find how it works for you. So step one, send your hips down, shoulders come forward over into your high plank. Now bending your knees, bring them down almost into tabletop, but keep your knees hovering. And then when you're ready, press your arms and shoulders back, hips scoop back and come back to your downward facing dog. This is the motion we're going for. So again, coming forward into your high plank, bending your knees into a hovering tabletop. Exhale, scooping your hips up and back. Maybe bending your back a little bit. Find yourself back in your downward facing dog. So again, taking this however feels good for you. Bring as much or as little movement into your spine as you wish. That can be really beautiful and juicy rolls through your spine. Or you can take it as more of just a strength practice. Up to you. So continuing these rolling motions. Maybe bringing your chin to your chest and arching your back in your high planks. And really arching your back, belly down to come back up to your downward facing dog. Whatever works for you. Take a few more rounds. Remembering to breathe nice and deep. Take one more round wherever you're at. Find yourself back in your downward facing dog. Take a breath here. And bring your knees to the mat. Sit your hips back. Child's pose. How did that feel? When you're ready, press back up into your tabletop, hands and knees. Setting up for a forearm plank to prep us for the next thing we're going for. So bringing your forearms down to the mat, go for a palm down shape for this forearm stand, leaving your forearms parallel to each other, pressing your fingers and palms into the floor. Step your legs back. Try to bring your hips level, not sinking down, not raising up. Take a few breaths here, nice and strong, engaging through your abs. Pressing through your arms, your hands, your fingertips. Take one more breath. And exhale your knees down. Come back to your child's pose. When you're ready, press back into your hands and knees, setting up to come back into our forearm plank. Only this time, we're going to rock back and forth between our forearm plank and dolphin pose, which I'll explain when we get there. So bringing your forearms, your palms back on the mat, stepping your feet back into your forearm plank. Stay here for a moment. Then when you're ready, start walking your feet towards your elbows as much as you can, bringing your bum up towards the sky. This is your dolphin pose. Don't worry if your knees are bending. Take some breaths here and walk your way back down. See if you can find all the way down, hips all the way down to your forearms, forearm plank, excuse me, and walk it back up. There's a lot on your shoulders and chest. You got it. One more way up and down. And when you next find yourself in your forearm plank, take a breath there. Send your knees down, hips back, child's pose. Great job. That's a lot of work. From here, press back into your palms, come up, hands and knees, bring your forearms and palms back to the mat, just like we were going to set up for our forearm stand, only this time. Send your legs out long, bring your hips down, find yourself in Sphinx pose. Pressing firmly still through your forearms and your palms, gently actually resisting your elbows back, hugging them in towards your torso. Feeling that open up through your chest just a little bit more. Take a few breaths here. On your next exhale, release your chest down to the mat. Coming to our bellies. We're going to take a little bit of a back bend here. Reaching your right arm back, bending your left leg, reach them towards each other, find them, find your foot with your hand. If they don't meet, you can also grab a strap and wrap it around your foot. Once you have a grip on your foot, inhale to prepare, and exhale, press your foot and hand into each other, pulling them up and away from your torso. Take a couple of breaths here, pressing your foot up towards the sky, away from your back. Feeling that stretch through your front body. Take one more breath. Exhale, back to the ground, releasing your foot. Same thing for the other side. Now sending your left arm back, bending your right knee, finding your foot with your hand. Again, if you need to grab a strap, go right ahead. You can find whatever comfortable position with your resting right arm that works for you. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press your leg up and away from you towards the sky. Resisting your hand away from your foot. Got it. Take one more breath. And exhale, back down. Release. Come back into your Sphinx pose. Pressing back up on your forearms, palms down. Bring both legs to the mat if they're not already there. Pressing into the mat with your arms and pulling slightly in towards your torso, opening up through the chest. On your next exhale, curl your toes, come up through your tabletop, and all the way into downward facing dog. Inhale, send your right foot up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, crunch it forward, step between your hands. Find your balance. Press firmly through your feet, rise up, crescent lunge. From here, you can take whatever your normal crescent lunge pose is, but I recommend that you take some focus on a back bend today. So feeling nice and long and strong through your back leg, bending deep into your front leg, arms up nice and long above your head, gazing through your fingertips. Inhale, reach as high as you can. Exhale, send your hands back a little bit. Same thing, inhale, wherever you're at, inhale, reach long. Exhale, bend back a little bit further. Stop where you stick till you can't go any further. Take a breath here. And on your next exhale, reach your arms back up, straight up to your regular crescent lunge. And exhale your arms down to your sides. From here, we're going to take a little bit of a hop forward with our back leg, narrowing our stance front to back, bringing this time the entirety of our left foot onto the mat, toes pointing at the front left corner of your mat. If you recognize where we're at, these are warrior one legs. So still long and straight through your left leg. This time the whole of your left foot is planted on the mat, still bending into your right leg. You've straightened out, arms back up, warrior one. Take a few breaths here. Again, try and take some back bend in this pose. Inhale, reach up nice and long. Exhale, send your hands back a little bit. You might not go back as far in this pose, and that's all right. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, sink back a little bit. Take one more breath. Come back up, pointing straight up. Release your hands to the side. Straighten through your front leg. Pyramid pose is next. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lengthen up through your spine, nice and long and tall. Crown of your head reaching towards the sky. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, hinge at your hips, keeping that straight back all the way down. Fold forward. Stop where you can't fold anymore with a straight back. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your leg or the mat or even some blocks. Arching forward. Releasing your spine, letting it bend. Nose to shin or knee someday. Take a few breaths here. If you have any pain in the back of your knees, as always, give them a little bit of a bend. Or back off on your bend just a bit. Your back bend. When you're ready, pressing firmly through your feet, rise back up nice and strong. Great job. Step up into a mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms up, extended mountain, gazing up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift, hands can come to shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. We'll take a few breaths here. If you'd like, you can also take your child's pose. It's always open to you. If you're in your child's pose, take one more breath and make your way back up to downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, send your left leg up and back, nice and long. Exhale, crunch your foot forward, step between your hands. Find your balance. Ball of the the right foot on the ground. Press up nice and strong, rise into your crescent lunge. Bring your hands straight up, gazing through your fingertips if you can, and if you're comfortable here, we'll take that back bending sequence again. Inhale, reaching nice and long through your hands. Exhale, bend just a bit. Inhale, same thing, reach. Exhale, bend deeper. Great job. Hold it at your farthest point of comfort. Take one more breath. Exhale, bring your hands back straight up. Great job. Release your hands to your side. Take a little bounce on your back leg. We'll step ourselves up, narrow our stance again, just a bit, to your warrior one legs. So the entire sole of your right foot now on the mat, toes pointing towards the right corner. Bending back into your left knee if you've straightened. Resisting your feet away from each other. Hips square, both pointing forward. When you're ready, send your arms up nice and tall, gazing through your fingertips, and go for one more back bend. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, bring a little back bend. Again, don't worry if you don't go as far. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back bend. Take one more breath. Exhale your hands back up. Straightening through your left leg and bring your hands down. Find your hands on your hips. Notice that they're still pointing straight forward. Setting up for pyramid pose. Inhale, reach the crown of the head up towards the sky, nice and long through your spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Fold as far as you can with a straight spine and square hips. Take a breath here. And exhale, allow your back to bend. Bring your hands to your leg or the mat or a block. Collapse over your front leg. Pyramid pose. Take a few breaths here. Take note of how this feels different from your other side. Still resisting your feet away from each other. When you're ready, press firmly through your feet. Rise back up to straight spine. Step up into your mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, downward facing dog. This time, option to stay in downward facing dog, or again, bring your knees down, send your hips back. Take a child's pose. If you're in your child's pose, Press back up through tabletop. Flip your toes and send your hips back for downward facing dog. Inhale, send your right heel back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, crunch it forward, step between your hands. Before you rise up this time, step your left knee back. Bring the top of your left foot to the mat, setting up for low lunge. You might have to adjust your stance a little bit. Find what works for you. If you need to grab blocks, go right ahead. From here, we're going to take a little bit of a focus in our low lunge. Excuse me, a little bit of a different focus in our low lunge than usual. You might back off just a little bit so you're not in your absolute deepest expression of this pose. Bring your right leg off the ground or your leg, wherever you're supporting yourself. Press it onto the inside of your right knee and gently send your knee out to the side. Feeling a stretch. Now, the inside of your right leg. Take a couple of breaths here. Easing your leg out to the side. You can also just take this with the strength of your leg, both arms supporting you on the ground. Whatever works. And on your next exhale, spiral your knee back into the center. Curl your left toes under you. Rise up off your back knee. Find your way into your crescent lunge. Again, you might need to adjust your stance if you have slightly different stance between your crescent lunge and your low lunge. Totally normal. From here, twist open to your left side, coming through a wide leg stance. Option here to take a wide leg forward fold. But for now, we're actually just going to continue this rotation to the left side, setting up for your crescent lunge. Now facing the other direction, left leg forward, bending into your left hip, right leg back, crescent lunge. Take a breath here. Exhale, bend your left knee, bring it to the mat. Your right knee, excuse me. Adjust if you need to. Find yourself in your low lunge on the other side. You might need to scoot back and grab your blocks if you left them behind. Find your way into your low lunge on the left side. Now, same as before, you might be supporting yourself on the floor, on blocks, on your knee. Find what works for you. And when you're ready, with the support of your arm or just on your own, sending your left knee out to the side. Feeling that stretch open up the inside of your left leg. Take a couple of breaths here. Sending your hips gently down towards the mat. Knee as wide as it will comfortably go. Giving lots of support from your arms. On your next exhale, spiral your left knee back and tuck your right toes. Plant your hands, frame your foot. Step your left leg back, come all the way up through your three-legged dog. And release your foot back down. Find yourself back in downward facing dog. Take a breath here. When you're ready, you have a bend to your knees, bring them to the mat. Come through your tabletop pose. Cross your feet at the ankles and come through to a seat. You can move your blocks. Send your feet out long in front of you and bring them wide for a wide leg seat, a straddle position. If you find that you can't sit all the way up straight with a straight spine in this pose, you can always sit on a block. That'll lessen what's required of your hips and back. Allow you to sit up nice and straight with a long spine. Now from here, we're going to do some folding. Gently flexing through your feet to engage through your legs. Inhale, rise up through your spine. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat and walk them out, bending forward with a long spine. Take a breath with your nice long spine, and when you're ready, exhale. Relax forward, allow your spine to bend. Forward fold. Take notice of your feet. Have you relaxed them? Bring them back into a gentle flex, engaging through your legs. If you're feeling any pain in your knees, you can always back off a little bit or bring a little bit of a bend. On your next exhale, press through your hands, walk yourself back up to a seat. Same thing now, but we're going to twist our spine to the side. So inhale, lift up nice and long through your spine. Exhale with just the strength of your spine and the strength of your core. Twist over one leg as far as you can go. Holding this twist for a moment, take a breath. On your next inhale, rise back up, straightening nice and long. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat, framing your leg or maybe just inside your leg. And do the same thing. Fold forward with a straight spine, nice and long. Take a breath here. Exhale, walk it out further if you can, bending through your back, collapsing over your leg. On your next exhale, press through your hands, walk your way back up, still in this twist. Inhale and one more time in your twist, and exhale back to a neutral spine. How did that feel? Setting up for the same thing on the other side. Inhale, reach up nice and long. Exhale, twisting to your opposite leg, again with just the strength of your core. See how far you can get. Take a breath here. Inhale, reach back up nice and long. Exhale, folding over your leg, framing your leg with your hands or being just inside. Folding again with a straight spine at first, taking a breath in this position. And exhale, releasing down, allowing your back to bend. Take some nice deep breaths. On your next exhale, pressing through your hands, walk your way back up. Take a breath in this twisted position. And exhale, bring yourself back to center. Wonderful. From here, one more set of stretches. You have two options. Option one, for our side stretches, send one arm out long, tense your fingers on the mat beside you, bring your opposite arm, inhale, sweep it up over you, stretching past the center of your body and coming all the way over. You can take your supporting arm and bend into it, maybe placing your forearm on the mat. Reaching nice and long, your extending arm, taking your side stretches there on both sides. That's option one. Option two, you can take a bit of a more intense side bend. Get nice and long through your spine. Inhale, one of your arms up. And when you exhale, reach your arm all the way over, seeing if you can find your way to your opposite foot. Making sure you're spiraling your armpit up towards the sky, looking through the space between your leg and your arm, maybe gazing up. This is your second option for your side bend. So take whatever works for you. Take a few nice long breaths on both sides. You haven't switched yet. Go ahead. Inhaling back up nice and long. Again, taking either of your options for a side bend. Take one more breath, whichever option you're in. And when you're ready, exhale your way back up to center. Give your legs a little shake. Bring them in together, nice and long. And we're going to make our way slowly onto our backs for Shavasana. Taking as slow a trip as you'd like. Find your way into a comfortable Shavasana for you. Allow your eyes to close if they haven't yet. Allow yourself to sink into the mat. Let all the work we just did soak into all your muscles. Bringing your attention back to your body. Give a little bit of movement, starting nice and small, nice and slow. Be wiggling your toes and fingers. Slowly bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet to your mat. Hug your knees all the way up to your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Take some gentle sways side to side. And when you're ready, take one particularly big sway, coming all the way over onto one side. And allow your head to rest on your upper arm. Using the strength of your arms, press yourself up into a seat. Find a comfortable seated position. When you arrive, we'll take one more nice deep breath together. Inhale, filling your belly, filling your lungs. Exhale, let it all out. Slowly blink your eyes open. And I thank you so much for spending your time on your mat with me today. I hope you're feeling great and have a great rest of your day. Namaste.